Hello again, everyone. Happy Easter! For those of you who haven't met me before, hi. Thank you for clicking on this little live stream thing that I'm doing. I'm Katie Silverwings. I am a glassblower and patchwork artist currently studying at the University for Creative Arts in Farnham in the UK. Because the studios are currently closed for Easter break, in addition to, well, other things that we can all imagine make studios close, like, global pandemics and things like that. I've started doing live streams of my working process, working on the patchwork aspect of my patchwork and glass project. And today I am back working on some more patchwork. Those of you who saw my last video may know that I had a bit of an issue with some of the seams that were not lining up right, no matter what I did on my patchwork banner I've been working on for the last week and a half or so. And it turned out that was because I had made the blocks not square, and I need square blocks to line up when I turn them to tessellate them. So I have found a solution for that, and today I'm going to be working on it. And what I've done, I've gone through, cut all the blocks back apart. Yeah, it took a while. And I have trimmed it down so that there is less of the white, just because that was the part that was most badly affected by the way that I had tried to fix it the first time. So the white's now 1.5 inch strips here, and these side ones are now slightly off. But when I lay these out now and tessellate them to make colored diamonds in the center of the patterns, all of the colored strips line up in a way that looks nice. So today I'm going to be pinning these together, sewing them into large blocks, and then I'll be sewing those large blocks together with narrow white bands in between them to separate the diamonds, and then the banner will be done. So I'll see how much of that I can get done today. And if you're watching, then hi, I hope that you enjoy this. Do feel free to leave me comments or questions, anything you like, in the comment section. I will go through and answer those as I see them when they pop up on the video while I'm doing it. And if you leave me a comment and when you're watching this later on, I will do my best to reply to you and say hello. Because I do this both for my own entertainment, because I have a lot of work to do and I need something to keep me motivated so I don't stop and take a break and then lose track of time doing something else. And also so that I can share a bit of what I do with y'all and maybe give you a little bit of something nice and calming and bright colored to add to your day. Speaking of bright, you will notice outside my window, it is sunny. It has been absolutely beautiful weather in England ever since they told us to stay in our houses. That continues today. It is an absolutely gorgeous Easter Sunday here. And yeah, I'm kind of part of why I'm live streaming and working on this today is so that I don't have to think about how far away my family is today. Hi, family, if you're watching. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to get on to pinning things together. If you hear music in the background, that's my neighbors. They have good choice in music, thankfully, or I would be a little bit annoyed at how loud it gets sometimes. But in any case, I don't know how many people are going to actually watch today, just since it is a holiday and those of you who are quarantined with your families are probably celebrating or doing something online with them, perhaps. I'm not. Let me just separate these pins out. I have some pins that are bigger and some that are smaller, so I need to. And the narrower ones leave less of a mark when I pin them into things. But anyway, I'm just going to continue pinning these bits of fabric together and see where I get with it. And I'm just going to go over onto this. And one moment. So I'm gonna see if I can share this with my friends and family real quick. And I don't know how to share this. So I'm just going to leave that up to y'all. If you know somebody who might enjoy watching this, please share it with them. I'm trying to figure out how this whole live streaming and sharing my work with people while I'm talking to them works. I'm still a newbie at it, so yeah, if you like what you're watching, show other people. So there's the first paired together. I had to kind of change around what my plan for these blocks was, just to make up for the fact that I sewed them incorrectly. What happened was I didn't add the last set of white stripes onto them in the first place, and that's why the blocks weren't square. Because with log cabin blocks, when I draw them out, if one side doesn't have a set of strips, it looks just fine. It doesn't look like it's not square. But doing them in fabric, turns out they are not square until you add that last set of strips. At least these weren't. I probably did something wrong, in addition to the other things I know I did wrong. But it's a learning process. Even though I call myself a textile artist and patchwork artist, I do still have to always learn, and there are always things that baffle me on these projects that I end up doing wrong once and then remembering for the rest of my life what not to do. So there's a second set of strips. I do think this is going to be pretty, and I will be making one that has white diamonds going down the center later on, but I will be doing that with a slightly different setup. I think I'm going to use more narrow strips for it when I do that. And when I do seam these together the second time, I will be making very sure that all of them are trimmed to match before I sew them. Because some of them are still somehow ever so slightly off. The idea with the design I'm doing is that I'm tessellating the blocks and turning them around in order to create that diamond, which means the blocks slightly rotate when I'm pairing them. There's another one. So it'll end up with this nice cross-hatch, cross diamond pattern in the middle that'll be made of the colored fabrics. And it'll have a yellow mark. The yellow in the center is going to all be touching, but it'll kind of look woven, and I do really like that effect. And I do have the window beside me open today just for a little bit more cross ventilation. My apartment is at the top of the building, and when it is sunny, it really warms up in here pretty quickly. There's another pair all pinned up and ready to go. So I have to have both of my two windows on either side of this living space level open for that cross breeze, because otherwise it gets really warm really fast. Back during the summer, we had a heat wave, and it was actually worse in here than it was in the hot shop I was working in. But I think that's because we had fans in that hot shop, and I don't really have that much of a fan here. I have a little one somewhere downstairs that I need to get out because it's already getting towards the time of year when I need it in here. I never expected to get warm in England because I'd always heard it was, wet and rainy and cold here. And while it does get like that, when it decides to be warm and sunny in this country, there's no stopping it. And again, forgive me if I'm babbling more than usual today. I'm kind of making up for the fact that my family is in a different country altogether and split up. And while I get to see them on Skype, I do miss getting to talk to them and be around people. I kind of have Easter egg colors though today. I think if I manage to get this, once I finish this banner, the next one is going to be a similar pattern, but with a slightly different color scheme on it. So I'm excited about that. I do have some more pastel variations of these fabric that I had dyed that I will get out to use once I've done with this one. It's also nice to be doing something that's not on my computer because I have been working on my online submission documents and things for my coursework all day pretty much with no break or with very few breaks because I just want to get it over with at this point. There's another one. Because as soon as I finish one of the assignments I've got, then I can start on the other assignments I have that need to be done on and ready to turn in online in a few not next week, but the week after. I love these fabrics so much. And there's the last one. So if you've been watching me before, you know this is the point in time where since I've finished pinning things, I have to turn the camera around so that y'all can watch me sew. And here we have my sewing machine. And for those of you who haven't met her before, say hello to Gertrude, the sewing machine. She is a 1924 hand crank Singer sewing machine, and she is my best friend right now. Or at least my best friend that lives in my house and helps me sew things. So I am going to just get all of these seams done, then I'll snip them apart, press them out, and stitch them, put them back, pin them back together, then stitch them, and so on and so forth. So again, if you have any questions about what I'm doing or about any of the glass that you see in the background here or anything else like that, any comments for me, do leave those in there and I will respond to them when I am done sewing. So here I go. I do roll the blocks up a little bit to keep them from getting all over the place while I'm working. And, oh. Oh, thank you. Let's see, how do I pronounce this? Abhishek, I'm going to say. But in any case, hi, thank you. I hope you enjoy watching. I'm just going through and sewing all these together. In case you're wondering about the voices in the background, if you can hear them, I have the window open and people are walking past my house. And here's the last one. All right, so now I am going to cut these apart. Let's do that. I'm just going to turn the angle up a little bit. And then I will go over and press them, and we'll see how they've turned out. So in the meantime, while I'm cutting this is a good time if you are watching and do have any questions for me. This is when I'm easily accessible to do that. Or rather, when I'm most likely to look up and see what you've said. I am pleased with how these are coming out now that I've got them actually starting to work. So again, like I said, it's 7-something in the afternoon here. I don't know what time that makes it wherever you are, but I hope you are having a nice day. I don't really know where people are from that end up watching these videos, but I know where my family is when they show up. But in any case, I hope this is entertaining to you, or at least distracting. So this full banner, when it's done, is going to be about 8 feet long. And now I'm going to turn you around so that I can press these, which is going to be exciting. So just a moment. Let me get a little sip of water first. I made this, for those of you who haven't guessed. All right, so just going to adjust camera angle and turn you around so you can see back over at my ironing board workstation. And there we go. And you can even see out the window at beautiful sunny Farnham. Move my pins out of the way while I'm pressing. I am looking forward to these. I think they're going to be quite nice with all these. I'm going to press towards the yellow, I think. Yeah. So I can already tell this is working better than the last set just because the seams are lined up. So here's the first one. And with the sun like this, you can actually see the seams at the back casting shadows, and that's part of the design as well. So there's the first one. Just setting them over there on the chair for now because there's not really room for them anywhere else here. And there's the second one. I love how these fabrics are working together. And there's the third one. For those of you who haven't watched me before, all of the fabric that you're seeing in these blocks is actually stuff that I have dyed myself. So it's all been, I think all of the fabrics that I'm using right now have been ice dyed or tie dyed, but I do take white fabric and add the color myself. That's been part of the project that I'm doing, which is all about taking traditional patchwork and block patterns and turning it into glass, but also taking inspiration from the qualities of the glass that I'm working with for the patchwork element of the project. So these patterns that I get from, that one's pretty. So the patterns that I get from the ice dyeing and other dye methods are part of the project because they really resemble some of the swirled patterns I've gotten in my glass test pieces. But also they're just so pretty. I love doing patchwork with hand dyed fabrics. It just is so pleasing. And thank you for keeping me company while I'm working on this. Doing these live streams is part of how I'm keeping track of how long making one of these banners takes me. If you'd like to see where I started with this, I've been live streaming the whole process of making this. So all the videos are on my page archived, and most of them are somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours long or so. There's also a few videos of me going through all of the glass pieces that I've made the last couple of years because I was packing those away when I first started live streaming. And once I get this banner done, there will actually be some, at least one day of me live streaming while I take photos of glass sitting on this. So there's another one. I love how these patterns are lining up in the colors. So kind of like this area right here where the darkness kind of creeps from the red into the yellow. That's just so nice. Actually, doing these live streams is counting towards some of my homework because I have a unit for my university degree that is called Professional Practices, and we're supposed to have our social media set up and get our resumes and CVs and all of our websites and things built and put together for potentially applying for jobs or residencies or all that sort of things. So part of why I'm doing this is for that, to help build my online presence. There's another beautiful piece of fabric. This red bit right here has almost a little flower shape in it. That's nice. But anyway, so part of that assignment also is going through and actually looking at our 5-year plan and all this other stuff. So I've been looking at options for my future and opportunities, and it's been kind of overwhelming the last few days doing that. Also, hi Mom, happy Easter to you too. I'm glad your internet connection is working. Now you get to see me do some patchwork. All right, there's another one done and ready to be seamed again. Again, they're lining up much better now. Originally, I had them, for those of you who didn't see it, I originally had all of them sewn with the white together, but they were all the wrong shape, so it wasn't quite working. But they're working out, and thank you. I think they're beautiful too. So here's a cool thing. When you comment in the chat, if you have shared this video with people, it actually puts a cute little tag above your name that says you are a sharer, so that I can see that you've done that. And thank you for it. Thank you very much for spreading this video to other people who might want to watch some patchwork. All right, there's the last one. So now I can turn that off. And there we go. What do you think? I really like how these have turned out. Let me get the rest of them back. So now I'm going to go through with all of these and match them up into pairs, pin them together, and then go and sew them. So, time for pins. I have a lot of pins, but my dish is getting kind of low, so I'm probably going to have to reach over and get all the pins that I've been collecting over there and all of that. So I do hope that you are enjoying this. So now for the moment of truth. Making these line up, because this is the part where everything went wrong last time. And yes, they should line up. So the idea here is that I need to get this center seam to match. And part of that is going to be is that I've pressed things so that the seams nest together. But I'm also putting a pin right on the seam there to make sure it works. And they are lining up mostly, so I'll still need to square up the larger blocks once I'm done sewing them, just because there's some small discrepancies in these, but it shouldn't be too drastic this time, which is great. Because I will be very glad when this banner is done so I can start on a different one. So yeah, there's still a little bit of a discrepancy there, but that should be fine once I trim it. It looks like it's just on one side too. All right, there's the first set all ready to sew together. Now for the second one. Again, I'm just making sure that center seam lines up and gets a pin right into it. I go through so many pins doing this. Some of them are a little bit too thick for this fabric, but I need to sort those out. So if you occasionally see me plucking one up on the board, that's why. Yeah, this is much better. This one lined up pretty much perfectly. There's another one. All right, I'm gonna have to get more pins, just a second. And here we have my little pin catcher that I use when I am plucking them out at the sewing machine. This is another piece of glass that I made back in first year, and it is just pretty much perfect for catching my pins. All right, there's another parallel pin. And here's the last one. So this is ultimately going to have 4 big colored diamonds going down the center of the banner. Originally it was going to be 5, but I managed to make 1 block with them going the opposite direction, and I'm just keeping that separate. So actually. There we go. And there's the last one. So now I'm going to turn you back around and we're going to sew these. Isn't this exciting? Sewing. So there we go. Just 4 very long seams this time. Again, question, comments, just want to say hi and tell me where you are and what time it is. Feel free to leave them on the comments and I will answer them when I am done sewing. There's 1 down, 3 to go. I will be so happy to get this done. And 2 more to make sure the pins don't get stuck in each other while I'm pulling them apart. Like I said, long seams at this point. But it will be worth it. Move that one over so I have a little bit more room. And last seam, and then I get to go and press them. To make room. My little sewing station is quite small. So I kind of have to move things around here and there so I can. Okay, I hope that you're safe in this storm in Memphis, and I will make sure to show you photos later. I mean, You will get to see this, I promise. So we now know it has been sunny here. The sun is starting to set, but it's still a clear day here. It's thunderstorming in Memphis. So what's the weather like elsewhere in the world? Somebody tell me. I haven't left my house in ages now. Ah, hello. So it's raining in Madisonville too. That's nice to know. Happy Easter to you as well. I get to hear from bits of my family for Easter after all. This is awesome. All right, so I'm just going to cut these 4 big blocks apart and then take them over and press them open. I'm so excited. Don't know if y'all are excited about this, but I'm definitely excited. So, got my 4 big blocks made from little blocks, and I'm going to turn you around back to the ironing board while I press them. I just need to move my cords a little bit to do this so that you can see what I'm up to. There we go. So, move the pins out of the way. We have 4 of these that I need to press open. And I'm just going to keep with the way I've been pressing these. I think I may press this to one side. Now I'm just going to press it. It does help if I turn the iron on first. Make sure not to repress any of my other seams the wrong way. All right, ready guys? There's the first one. Oh, these turned out much nicer than I thought they would. They kind of have a windmill look to them. I'm happy with that. Okay, yeah, this is going to work. So I'm just going to set this off to the side. And press the next one. I love these large scale blocks so much. Ready? Oh, that's so pretty. This makes me want to just make a quilt with this rather than the banners, but the banners are what I need for the project I'm doing. So eventually, though, if I have fabric left over after I get enough banners to make for my project, I am so turning the scraps into some sort of quilt for me to have for my bed. And here's the third one. Again, I just love how this design is coming out. It's much nicer than it was before I had to cut all the blocks apart and start sewing them together. But see, there is hope. Even if things don't seem like they're working out, there's always a way to fix it so that something will come out of it. And last one. All right, and here's the fourth one. So pretty. So now I'm going to put narrow white strips at the top of each block or at the top of the banner, and then between each block going down, and then at the bottom. I'm not going to do strips on the sides. So I'm going to get my narrower white strips right for that. To do that, all I need to do is press them. So there's one. I'm going to go ahead and press all of these narrow strips that I've made. And I have enough white that if I needed one more of these, I can probably do it. So I did tear these just like I did the strips that are the components of each block. And this narrower kind of strip is what I'm going to use on the next banner anyway. And I'm just giving these a nice light pressing while I pull them through just to get them all evened up. And there's the second one. I do like this fabric. It's just a plain white cotton poplin, but this is the fabric that I've dyed for all of the other patchwork fabrics that I'm using. All right, so now that I've got all of these strips ready, each one of these is going to get a piece of strip sewn to the top of it. And what is the top going to be, you might ask? The top is going to be one of the two sides that it's going to be perpendicular to what I just sewed. So I'm going to take one of my white strips and I'm going to start by snipping off my selvage. So I'm going to turn the edges of this whole block once I'm done with it. So I'm just going to line this up straight on the edge with the block and then put pins in. So I'm going to start down at the end and just work my way down. And I'm making sure to pin this so that as the side that has the most seams on it is the side that's facing up, so that as I'm putting things through the sewing machine, I can make sure to guide those through so they don't get turned the wrong direction, so they don't pucker and they'll lay nice and flat. And now that I've gotten to the end, I'm just going to take my scissors and just snip the strip to fit. And there you go. So that's the top border of this block. And now for the next one. Let's see, is this bit of strip left? Exactly the right amount. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. So once again, I'm just going to line this up and pin it. And there's the second one. Happy Easter, Lupe. I just saw your message. I hope that you did finally get that tractor sorted out. I would have been online working on this part yesterday, but my internet connection just dropped on me. So I decided to just wait and do it today. But I've got things sorted and this is going to work. Ta-da! There's number 3. Now I just have to get this 4th one lined up. This one I'm going to sew from this side, but I actually need to put one more strip of white on this block because it's going to be the bottom one. So it's going to have a strip of white on both sides. You'll see. It'll all make sense. So today I'm just going to get all the last of these seams sewn on, and then tomorrow I will go in and put all of the and do all of the edges so that they won't get frayed and so that it'll actually be finished, which is so exciting. I see. I just saw your comment about the egg hunt. I hope that went well. Hello to your daughter as well. I don't think we've met for quite a number of reasons, but hi. I hope your Easter is going great. And thank you for joining me, even though you actually have other things you could be doing today. Just gonna finish this and put this over with my other bits. Again, apologies for the sneezes. I'm not sick. I am just working on getting my windows open so that I can have fresh air, even though I'm stuck inside, and that means all the pollen in Farnham is coming in. And I have a question on my other messenger that I'm going to answer in a bit but I will have to get to that because I'm going to have to look some stuff up. So I will continue working on this, and then I'll get back to that person in a bit. Aw. Easter egg with 1-year-old sounds absolutely adorable. And thank you. I appreciate it. So, in order to make space, I've had to put all the pin bits on the back of my chair. So I'm just going to sew these white strips on. And then I will take the ones that all the bits and sew them to the white strips. And hopefully we will end up with a finished piece of patchwork. Since these are relatively long seams, it is going to take a little while to sew them. Just to make it a little easier on myself, though, I am going to snip these as I take them off. So there's that one. Just going to set that there. All right, this is the one that has 2 strips on it, so I need to sew this one first. Which means I need to roll this side up so it'll be protected. One day I will get a line put on so I can do a 1/8 seam on this machine without having to line it up this way, but for right now, this is what works. I have to be careful not to prick myself with the pins that are in the other side of this. Because once I get one side sewn, then I will be flipping it over and doing the same on the other side. Yeah, thank you. I like how I've gotten it fixed too. I ended up having to cut everything apart and restitch it But once I got everything square, it's actually cooperating. And now I know with these blocks, I have to make sure they're square when I'm done with the block and before I start sewing them together. All right, there's that side. And now I just need to re-roll this. So that I can get to the other set of pins. Ooh, confetti eggs. Oh, I miss those. Smash one on somebody for me, Lupe. Easter in Texas. Very much something I miss. So this is number 3. Again, like I said, I'm just going to finish seaming the white in between these blocks, and then I will actually finish it tomorrow because I need dinner at some point. I got distracted by the stuff that I was working on for my written work, so I didn't quite get that. So I didn't get started as soon as I would have liked to, showing y'all what I'm doing and working on my patchwork. So it has gotten quite dark outside, which is a sign I should make food and stop for the day, but I do need to get this sewn first. Oh, wow. Nice weather and confetti eggs. That sounds like fun. Those things are best in the wind when the confetti gets pulled away. Helps a bit with the cleanup of all the little bits of paper too. And one more. All right, there's the last one. So now I'm going to take these over and press these white strips, which means time to change camera angles once again. And as you can see, when it decides to get dark here, it happens very quickly. So I'm just going to turn on my iron and press each of the white strips on these. And again, I'm just going to press them upwards. So now there's with the top strip added. Again, I'm not going to put the strips down the sides, but I am but that top strip is going to be how the top and bottom strips are just going to make it look nice where the rest of the strips are separating the diamonds. I'm going to set that one off to the side and press the next one. Just going to finger press this a little bit to make sure it's open. And then just gently encourage it to take a crease. And there's the second one. I'm going to do this one next. And there's that one. And now this one, I have 2 seams to press. All right, there's one side. And there's the last one. You can see it has the strips at the top and the bottom. So now I'm going to pin this to one of the other blocks. It's going to be this one, I think. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip it over so that the white end is up. And now I'm going to find the end of this block that does not have the white on it. So there we go. So the white's at the bottom. And pin these two together. I'm just going to start at one edge and work my way across. I'm just making sure that I line the edges up as I go. And take special care with the points where a seam is going to be sewn over. Oh goodness, confetti in your beard. That is a hazard of playing with confetti eggs in a windstorm. I hope it was fun. So now I've got these two pinned together. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other two. So I'm going to take this one with the white strip facing upward. Oh, these are so nice. And then with this one, I'm going to make sure that my white strip is at the bottom, like that, and pin the two sides together. Again, making sure that any seams that I've already sewn are going to line up neatly and not get caught by the sewing machine. Particularly because the seams here are pressed, some of them to the left and some of them to the right, it's really important that I have them pinned down so that they don't get caught on the sewing machine while I'm working, because sometimes that can flip one end of a seam over the opposite direction. And then when sorry, my nose is itchy. Then when I go to press it, it'll end up with a crease, and it's just not as nice. It's barely perceptible, but it is not quite as nice as when I do it correctly and all the seams are laid down flat. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and roll this up here because it's going to be the first one I sew. So there's that. I'm going to bring the other one over and roll it at the table as well. This is going to get quite long now that I'm sewing these together, but I'm very pleased with it. And again, I'm rolling them so that they'll fit onto the sewing machine correctly, because my sewing machine foot has one side that is really easy to sew an 1/8 of an inch seam with, but it does mean it's a little bit persnickety. So now, back over to the sewing corner you go. There's our sewing angle. I'm going to get Gertrude squared up and get these two seams sewn. So I'm going to try to do this without sticking myself with any pins, but there are quite a number of pins now. Alright, so there's one pair done. And now for the other one. Getting to the point where everything's big, but there are fewer seams left to sew. All right, now back to pressing. Lots of back and forth today. So, get the camera angle correct. and get things over here. Move the pins out of the way. There's a rhythm to this now. Turn the iron on. And now I just have to unroll this. You can already see how long this is getting. Line it up. And again, I'm going to press this so that the white, so that both of the block seams are going towards the white strip. Just because that's the way they naturally want to go, and it looks nice that way. All right, ready? So this is the side with the seams, but you can kind of get the idea. This is already quite long. It's like, here's me for comparison. This is getting pretty long. It's currently just over 4 foot tall. So I'm going to set this off to the side for the moment and open up the other one. Oh, this is so exciting. One more seam and then I'm done with this, except for finishing off the edge. So just like before, just gently pressing all the seams to that center of the white strip. All right, so there's the other one. I love how these are coming together. So this is the one without the strip on the top, and that's where my last seam is going. So since this one has a white strip on either side, I'm just going to turn off the iron and pick one of the sides. Just going to press over that from this side a little bit just to make sure it's all nice and flat. There's still a bit of heat in this iron. There we go. And now this goes on to here. Oh, this is going to be so long. So again, I'm just going to line it up and pin all the way across. And thank you. I'm glad you like it, since you've been watching the whole time on this. So now I'm going to roll this up and then I'm going to sew that last seam. I'm so excited about this. I like this banner a lot more than I thought I was going to, especially after a couple days ago when it just was not happy and just not cooperating with me in the slightest. All right, there we go. So I'm going to turn you around first so you can see the sewing machine. And now to sew the last seam. I'm so excited, guys. I'm sewing the last seam. And then I'm going to call it quits for the night, and I'm just going to finish the edges of this tomorrow. So, just going to lift my presser foot, put that underneath, and here we go. Just have to make sure to feed this roll through evenly, or it's going to make the fabric toll. Yay, indeed. Almost done. Last pin. And now for the last bit of pressing. This is so exciting. As you can see, it is quite dark outside, so I really do need to make food after this. So gonna put the pins away because I don't need them now. I just need to unroll this and slip it over the ironing board. It's so long. I'm gonna have to change the camera angle a little bit so you can see just how long this is once I get it pressed, because it is very long. It's not as perfect as I was hoping it would be as far as the seams being all straight and even and perfect. But for a first try doing a banner of this scale with this kind of pattern, I think it's turned out quite nice. All right. Ready? Okay, so as you can see, it's kind of long. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try putting the end on here. Yeah, so I'm going to set the end on the ironing board and kind of show you just more a vision of how long this is. Tomorrow, once I get the edges done, I'll pin it up on the wall so you can see the whole thing. But this is me standing on my tiptoes. Let's see, can I get you to a place? Okay, computer's stable. I'm gonna just angle like that. I'm gonna stand as far away from the screen as I can so you can really see how long this is. And you still can't see the whole thing because of the perspective, but still. So there's far away. Here's close up. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy with this. I'm just going to pin this up on the wall so it's out of the way for tonight. And then I'm going to go close the window and then get food. So thank you all for hanging out with me while I've been working on this piece. I really have appreciated the support and encouragement. So, again, it's long, exactly as I wanted it to be, if not, even though it's one block shorter than what I had planned on. So I've turned my iron off, and I'm just going to go ahead and close this window while I'm thinking about it. Here we go. But anyway, I'm just going to, thank you! Yeah, it is, it's actually about 8 foot tall, so it's a little bit about almost twice my height, but it's long. So anyway, I'm going to go get dinner now, but I'm going to, let me tilt this up a bit. So I'm just going to thank you all for joining me and for hanging out with me while I've been working on this. I will post a picture of it as it looks right now, as soon as I get my phone to take that picture, to my Instagram, which does cross-post to my Facebook page. If you want to see little tiny snippets of everything I'm working on, and want to follow me on Instagram, you can. The link to that is on my Facebook business page, or it's at LILFAERY Silverwings. But again, easy to just click through onto my business page and then click on one of the Instagram posts. But in any case, I hope wherever you are, you have had an excellent Easter or are having a good day, and that everything that you're working on, even if it gives you a bit of hassle for a little while, does end up turning out nicely in the end, and that you are safe and healthy and remain so. And I will see you tomorrow when I go through and stitch all the edges of this so that they won't unravel. Bye, everybody.